Level 0 Creech Air Force Base, Nevada Desert. Early morning, you open your eyes. The air smells of Nevada dust and cheap coffee from a thermos. You are sitting behind the wheel of your SUV. The desert rushes past the window. In 40 minutes, you will pass the gate of Creech Air Force Base, Creech AFB. You'll park, show your pass, and enter the GCS ground control station. A windowless steel container packed with servers. Inside, it's always freezing cold from the powerful air conditioners. You will sit in the seat, put on your headset, and grab the joystick. HOTAS, you are a pilot of the MQ-9 Reaper military drone. Your aircraft is currently flying over the Middle East, 10,000 kilometers away from you. Most people think your job is a video game. You sit in safety, pressing buttons. No risk to your life, no bullets flying over your head. But they don't understand one thing. An F-16 fighter pilot drops a bomb at a speed of 1,000 kilometers per hour and flies away. He only sees a cloud of smoke, but you hover over the target for hours, days, weeks. Today is your first combat mission. The door to the container is open. The commander is waiting for you to log into the system. What do? Enter the dark container to start your remote war, or turn around, realizing you are not ready to kill people. Staring at a monitor from a safe suburb of Las Vegas, choose, log into the war, or walk away. Level 1, the unblinking eye, GCS, container, semi-darkness, hum of servers, you are inside. On the screen's higher resolution infrared image, your target is a militant commander. You've been conducting surveillance on him, pattern of life, for 2 weeks now. You know him better than his own wife does. You know what time he drinks tea on the roof. You see how he hugs his children before leaving. You notice that he limps on his left leg. This is not a faceless dot on the radar. This is a person with a routine, habits, and family. Today, the order sounds over the radio from the Pentagon. Target confirmed. Cleared to engage. You align the crosshairs of the laser designator with the pickup truck he just got into. But in the back seat of the pickup, you notice a heat signature. It is small. It is a child. Intel over the radio screams. It's not a child. It's a dog or a thermal anomaly. Shoot, or he will enter a densely populated area, and we will lose him. Your finger is on the trigger. If you shoot, you will destroy a dangerous terrorist. But you might kill a child, whom you saw in the infrared light. If you abort the attack against Intel orders, the terrorist will escape and organize a new attack tomorrow, and you will be suspended from flying for disobeying an order. What do? Press the button, trusting Intel, and wiping the pickup off the face of the earth, or take your finger off the trigger, saving the possible child. But letting the target escape, choose, strike, OR, abort, attack. In the corner of the monitor, right on the frame of the screen, sits a tiny snail. She slowly moves her antennae, looking at the heat signature of the pickup truck. Behind your shoulder stands a man in a beige trench coat. This is Detective Jimmy. Violence, voyeurism, Jimmy says quietly, looking at the screen. Remote warfare is paradoxical. You are in absolute physical safety, but the psychological distance is zero. Infrared cameras of modern drones are so good that you see how a person finishes their cigarette before dying. You become an intimate witness to his life, and then his executioner. Level 2, Battle Damage Assessment, BDA, same room. 15 seconds after launch, you press the button. The AGM-114 Hellfire missile has left the rails. Flight time is 15 seconds. These are the longest 15 seconds of your life. You look at the screen. The terrorist suspects nothing. He drives along a dusty road. You know he is already dead. Physics just hasn't delivered the news to him yet. A flash. The screen is flooded with white light. the pickup turns into a glowing cloud of metal. A normal pilot would fly back to base, but you are a Reaper pilot. Your task is BDA, Battle Damage Assessment. You are required to hover over the blast site for another 2 hours. You must zoom the camera in to the maximum. You see people running to the burning wreckage of the car. You see a woman who falls to her knees in the dust and beats her hands against the ground. In high resolution, you document the fatal aftermath to confirm the success of the strike. Nausea rises inside you. Your brain screams, begging you to look away, to switch the camera to the empty desert. If you turn away, you will violate protocol and fail to gather data for analysts. If you continue to look at this horror in macro, this frame will be burned into your retina forever. What do? Force yourself to look at the aftermath, methodically executing the BDA protocol, or turn the camera away, violating the order. To save what is left of your sanity, choose. Watch the consequences or look away. Jimmy leans against the server rack. The snail crawls along the camera's zoom button. Witness trauma. The detective's voice is devoid of emotion. You cannot close your eyes. Technology has stripped war of its merciful blindness. In past wars, a soldier killed and moved on. Here, the system forces you to stay at the crime scene and examine the results of your labor in 4000 resolution. This is a surgical destruction of empathy. By the way, if you are watching this video, it means you are drawn to the real underside of military professions, not the Hollywood version. YouTube often hides such formats because they don't entertain but make you think. Your like and subscription right now is a real signal to the system that smart content must live. Make that click. Moving on. Level 3. Cognitive RIFT, Las Vegas suburb. 40 minutes later, your shift is over. You step out of the steel container. The bright Nevada sun blinds you. The air is hot. It smells of asphalt. You get in your car and drive home. You turn on the radio. Pop music is playing. 40 minutes ago, you killed the man on the other side of the planet and watched his wife gather his remains in the dust. And now you are stuck in traffic on the I-15 highway. You walk into the house. Your wife is frying pancakes. Your 6-year-old daughter runs up and grabs your leg. Daddy, did you buy me the cereal you promised? Your hands are still shaking from the adrenaline of the combat flight. Your brain physically cannot process this transition. Between the battlefield and your living room, there is no ocean, no months of sailing on a ship, only a 40-minute drive in a Ford F-150. Your wife notices your blank stare. Honey, what happened? You look pale. Problems at work. By law, you have no right to tell her anything. The operation is classified. If you tell her what the fatal impact of a hellfire looks like, you will violate the NDA and dump your hell onto her. If you stay silent and smile, everything is fine, just tired. You will build an impenetrable wall between you. What do? Break down and tell her the truth, risking your career and traumatizing her mind, or lock this horror inside you, wearing the mask of a normal husband and father. Choose, tell the truth, or lock it inside. Jimmy sits on the kitchen table, next to the box of cereal. The snail is frozen on the shiny surface of the toaster. Absolute cognitive dissonance, Jimmy says. A traditional soldier goes to war for a year. His psyche adapts to survival mode. But a drone pilot makes the transition from executioner to caring father every day, on schedule. This pendulum swings the nervous system until it breaks. You no longer belong to the war, nor to your home. Level 4. Remote PTSD and Preventable Betrayal Psychiatrist's Office. 3 years later, you can no longer fly. You don't sleep at night. You dream of infrared silhouettes blowing to pieces. Your hands shake. Your marriage is hanging by a thread. Because you've become an aggressive, withdrawn robot, you go to a military psychiatrist. They diagnose you with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, but the system refuses to understand you. Old infantry veterans laugh behind your back. What PTSD? You sat in an air-conditioned chair in Vegas. Nobody ever shot at you. Command writes you off. You don't get the same benefits and respect as the guys who returned from Afghanistan without legs. They think you're a faker, someone who played too many video games. But your trauma is real. Your casualties are real. You killed more people than any infantryman, but society denies you the right to trauma. You are completely alone. Jimmy stands by the doctor's office window. The snail crawls along your medical report. Trauma without danger, the detective quietly notes. Moral injury. Your body was safe, but your soul was on the battlefield. The institutional betrayal lies in the fact that the army hired you to kill, but refused to recognize the price your psyche paid. Let's go to the archive. It's time to bring this to the screen. Archive, secret room. At dusk, Jimmy sits at a steel desk. The only source of light is a dim desk lamp, and the glow of multiple monitors around the snail sits on the drone joystick. Jimmy takes the remote control. Phenomenon 1. Violence, voyeurism, and target intimacy. A sniper sees the target for a few seconds through the scope. Jimmy says, a drone pilot observes the target for weeks. This is called pattern of life. You know what food the terrorist prefers, how he pets his dog, how he argues with his wife. A false sense of intimate closeness arises. One-sided empathy. Killing someone whose life you studied so closely is psychologically devastating. Psychological first aid. If your job requires constant observation of others' private lives, like in security services, content moderation, or HR, strictly limit your emotional involvement. Depersonalize the object of observation. Otherwise, other people's dramas will become yours. Google unblinking eye, drone psychology, intimate surveillance. Phenomenon 2. Damage assessment trauma, BDA trauma. Jimmy switches the monitor. On the screen, static from the infrared camera. The problem is not the shot itself. The problem is what happens after. The detective notes, battle damage assessment. After the strike, the pilot is required to hover over the target for hours, examining the destruction in high resolution. This contradicts the human fight-or-flight instincts. The brain demands to turn away from the source of shock, but the protocol forces you to look. This is a guaranteed path to post-traumatic disorder. Psychological first aid. Do not force yourself to watch what traumatizes you, unless there is a vital necessity, like doom scrolling or videos of disasters. The human psyche is not designed to consume pain in high resolution on a daily basis. Google, drone operators, BDA, psychological trauma. Phenomenon 3, cognitive time rift. Jimmy takes the car keys. A traditional soldier returns from war on a ship. He has weeks to adjust, Jimmy says. A drone pilot has 40 minutes on the highway. He switches between the mode of executioner and the mode of caring father on schedule. This pendulum swings the psyche, creating absolute cognitive dissonance. Emotions are dulled. A feeling arises that neither the war nor the family is real. Psychological first aid. Never bring heavy work stress home without a buffer zone. Create a transition ritual. A run after work, 15 minutes in the car, in silence. A shower. Your brain needs a physical action to switch context. Google, commuter war, cognitive dissonance, psychology. Phenomenon 4, moral injury and warm chair. The snail slowly crawls along the medical form. PTSD without physical danger. Jimmy taps his finger on the paper. Society is used to thinking that PTSD only comes from fear for your life. But drone pilots suffer from moral injury, the destruction of core moral beliefs. Due to actions committed, society denies them empathy, calling them cowards, playing video games. This stigmatization drives pilots into deep depression and isolation. Psychological first aid. Your psychological traumas do not require confirmation by physical scars. If you burned out or broke down in an outwardly safe office job due to a massive burden of responsibility, you have every right to professional help. Google warm chair, PTSD, moral injury, drone pilots. Jimmy stands up. The screen behind him goes dark. He adjusts his trench coat. The snail jumps onto his shoulder. Technology made war safe for the bodies of soldiers, but it made it 1,000 times more toxic for their minds. Jimmy looks into the camera. Subscribe to the Detective Jimmy and Snail channel. Like the video if you had the courage to watch to the end, and see you in the shadows. The lights in the room go out. Only the quiet hum of servers remains.
Author's note: hello. The profession of a drone operator seems like the perfect war of the 21st century. Clean, safe, remote. But studies show a frightening thing. The rate of depression, PTSD, and suicidal thoughts among Air Force pilots sitting in containers in Nevada is the same, and sometimes higher, than among infantrymen on the front line. Why? Because the infantryman shoots to protect himself. His survival instinct is working, but a drone pilot kills cold-bloodedly, from afar, examining the life of his victim in detail before the shot, and then goes home to have dinner with his family. This breaks the human psyche on a fundamental level. I am sure many of you have experienced a similar dissonance. How many times have you faced heavy stress at work, and then opened the front door at home, and forced yourself to put on a smile for your loved ones? How many times have they told you that your problems are nothing, because you just sit at a computer? Write in the comments. We all have something to share. Go to the community tab on the Detective Jimmy and Snail channel. I've launched a new poll based on this video. Take care of yourself, and see you in the shadows.